don't worry. Any mistake is an income, is a wonderful revenue for you. So I tell myself and told my young people, before 20 years old, be a good student. When you do entrepreneur, just learn some experience. Before 30 years old, follow somebody. Go to a small company. Normally in a big company, it is good to learn processing. You are a part of a big machine. But when you go to small company, you learn the passion, you learn the dreams. You learn how to do a lot of things at one time. So before 30 years old, it's not which company you go, it's which boss you follow. It's very important. A good boss teaches you differently. And from 30 to 40 years old, you have to think very clearly when you're working for yourself. If you really want to be an entrepreneur. When you're 40 to 50 years old, you have to do all the things that you are good at. Don't try to jump into the new area. It's too late. You may be successful, but the rate of dying is too big. So 40 to 50, think about how can you focus on things that you are good at. But when you are 50 to 60 years old, work for the young people. Because young people can do better than you.
A Philippine podcast show dedicated to help you thrive for greatness.
This guy is phenomenally passionate about what he does.
How freaking amazing Jameer is. So skilled and so qualified, and I highly recommend him.
Without a doubt, the best funnel builder I've ever come across.
Yeah, really into the detail and cannot recommend him highly enough.
Not only was efficient and fast, but he understood the project.
The person who built our entire funnel from beginning to end and has been with us since day one is Jameer.
Nothing But Up, the podcast. With your host, Jameer Angelo.
I'm always flexing.
Great day to all of you listeners and people that have supported the show. This is Jameer Angelo for Nothing But Up, the podcast. And yes, this is episode number 5, baby. We're at episode 5. And it's what we've promised you. We're going to be dripping and releasing more and more content weekly. That's going to be every Saturday at 8 in the morning. Philippine time, of course. And I'm pretty pumped up today, guys. I'm so proud of this guy. I mean, our very special guest for today, we have Joel Christian Lee Yu of the Cebu City Sharks, Casino Ethyl Alcohol, and a former FEU Tamaraws junior player, playing pro ball now for MPBL or Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Guys, there's a reason why I brought this guy out, into today's show. He has a very powerful story, how he started playing basketball, how he ventured so young in the entrepreneurial, side of things, becoming a business owner, on his own name. And that is something that is very commendable for a young guy like him to actually step into the plate and, venture running or doing his own business. But guys, before we even get there, just want to give my sincerest appreciation and shout outs to everybody that's watching and tuning in right now. I know that a lot of people from my hometown in Sibonga, Cebu are actually listening or watching this podcast right now. All props to you, and appreciate your full support, guys. Everybody from Pandan, Sibonga, the Aggravate Boys in Kapusoan. I hope you're having a great day. It came from there, man. The roots are from there. And the reason why I brought it up is that this guest that we have right now on today's show is also a breed came from a breed of talents from Sibonga alone. And we're going to go into more details about that. But again, shout out to my mom in Sibonga, Mama Nena. Hope you're doing well. My bro, Mark, hope you're doing well with the kids and Jonah. How are you guys? I know that people from friends are actually listening and tuning in. Daryl, Christian, Dukot, hope you're doing well, man. Miak, Tating, Harold, hope you're having a blast. Yungi, Teddy, my idol, hope you're doing good, man. Insik, Taigaga, Nainene, Michael, Brad Ores, hope you're having a good time today. So, guys, I really want to name you all, but if I'll do, we'll probably end up having a 4-hour episode instead of about 50 or 40-minute episodes. So let's cut this shit out, right? Anyway, going back to our guest, he's so young, guys. He's so young, certified heartthrob, actually. He has been featured, actually, and seen on Showtime, Channel 2, previously, guested there. I was kind of surprised upon seeing him there, actually. And this guy could really play ball, man. And the one thing that I certainly commend about him is that apart from him really doing good at playing basketball and becoming a pro at a very young age, he ventured his way into the entrepreneurial side of things, doing or running his own business, and now currently owning CBC Enterprises CEBU. So I'm very proud of this very young guy. And, I am pretty close with his brother, Yo, if you're watching this, man, love you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. I missed you throwing cell phones all over the place, if you still remember that. You're one sick son of a bitch. But anyway, missed you, man. Yeah, so pumped up. We're very, very excited because I know tons of, potential talent, not just from Cebu or maybe from here. In my province, I actually have my own team here, running it and kind of implementing the Cebu breed type of basketball here. Shout out to everybody. Benjamin, Balda, Boy, hope you're doing well. Haxo, we got Maoy, we got Junjun Trespices, Paulo, Adrian Young, all of my players. If you're watching this, shout outs to you as well. You better take a look at this episode, guys, because this is going to be changing your lives. I know that most of my players are young, and players in general that are young could really pick up some very inspiring story from our guest today, and that is why I decided to have him and try to take a look at it on a different perspective, not just seeing him play, but seeing really what's behind his success, what's behind how he, ventured his way in, running a business for himself or perhaps for his family. And considering that he is from Sibonga, so the heart is here. So proud of this guy. So we're gonna get to know him later on the show. Talk to him about the how he started, how the pandemic has also hit him professionally, how he's coping up with certain situations at a very young age. Because running a business isn't a joke. It's such a huge thing to own one, right? It's never going to be easy. But we're going to dive right into that, later on to today's show. But moving on, and anyway, today's show, if you've seen the clip or heard it, I'm the type of person is previously from other episodes. If you haven't seen it, I am a big believer of following someone's success. Right, that is where I'm getting the concept behind how to think alike. Successful people, and not to bring the shit down. With all the negativity that you can probably place for most people. But that is the idea of it. And I brought this topic in because it somehow resonates to me, and it somehow resonates to our guest and also to the young business owners out there, right? Young basketball players that are looking to get inspiration in how to leave an impact in the craft that they choose in playing professional basketball, so we can get some tips. But we had a snippet from Jack Ma, Chinese. He is also the founder and executive chairman for Alibaba Group. Believe it or not, guys, his real-time net worth as of August 10 this year, 2020, is $47.7 billion. Right? He was a former English teacher. Jack Ma confounded Alibaba Group as one of the world's largest e-commerce business ever. But in September of 2019, last year, Jack Ma stepped down as Alibaba's executive chairman. He was succeeded by CEO Daniel Zhang. And it was 2014 IPO in New York. He set a record as the world's biggest public stock offering, raising to $25 billion. Ma's investment beyond Alibaba included, stakes in Chinese entertainment industry, entertainment industry firms like Huey Brothers and Beijing Enlight Media. But one thing that I really find, amazing about him is that during this fucking coronavirus pandemic, his foundation donated millions of masks and other medical supplies to the US, Europe, and Africa, right? A business owner like that, doing and paying it forward for people, I'm totally blown by him, man. So it's such a great story to tell. He also somehow went elbow to elbow with our very own Manny Pacquiao. If you've seen some viral videos with, Manny and Jack Ma boxing together, I find him to be a very generous, intuitive, highly motivated, passionate businessman. So that is exactly the reason why I brought it here. And today's topic is actually investing in the young minds, young entrepreneurs, and whom our guest is exactly who is. So that is why, it's somehow timely in a manner to have maybe discuss this out and point out, the things that Jack Ma pointed out. I think first point he mentioned, any mistake is a wonderful revenue for everyone, right? And I think that is true. You will learn from your mistakes. You will never ever, regret having to do it. Because if you didn't commit to have that mistake, it won't take you to places, right? There's a reason behind why it is important to learn it fast. And by learning it fast, you have to learn it young, at a young age, right? And point number two, he also mentioned about him, he told himself and he told his young people that before 20 years old, you're gonna need to follow somebody, right? Go and work for a small company so you can learn about, the passion, the drive, and to learn about the dreams. It's not about which company you go, actually, as he said, it's about, the boss that you follow. And I think that's a part of myself. I believe that was what was missing with me, because before turning 30 years old, I was really all over the place. Right? I am very irresponsible. I was all over the place. I hate commitment. I just don't know where I'm headed during those times. And I think that was the crisis that I really went through that really made a huge impact in my life and somehow made me decide to pull the trigger and do a relevant change for myself. And if you're someone young right now, or running a business, maybe an online business or a retail business, food industry, whatever business you're in, at a young age, you are definitely there. So as Jack Ma said, if you really want to go and hit big in the entrepreneurial side of things and become a business owner yourself, you gotta need to start young so you can commit mistakes, learn from it, right? You'd be able to know who to follow, like a boss that you can follow. Maybe you can, perhaps work for a fast food chain, or you can work for any small or medium scale company that would really, in the hopes of finding a good leader that you can follow. Not just that, but you can follow a lot of people online too. right? Like myself, I follow Jackma, follow Russell Bronson, right? Those guys are someone that I idolize. I try to, gather all the positive things that they are doing for themselves and for their business, and how they are reacting and giving and paying it forward for people. So that is exactly the pattern I'm headed to. But Jack Ma also said that before or between 30 to 40 years old, you gotta need to think vertically and think if this is really the path that you need to go to if you want to be an entrepreneur. And I think that is where midlife crisis come in, I suppose. And I'm sorry, it's just my opinion, but I believe that's exactly what he meant by it. Because either way, it could really go different ways, right? If you're working and you're looking to do or run a business, you have two options actually. And if you're right in the middle, you got to need to think vertically and see which one is better for you. So you need to gauge and weigh things out and go with what your heart and mind tells you. Not just your heart, but your mind has to tell you too, right? And it should really make sense for most of us. So we will never be having to go through midlife crisis. And a lot of people are in this situation right now, especially with, the fucking pandemic that has happened in the world. And even myself, I'm just really, really thinking, how can I possibly reach out and tap to people that there is definitely something hope. And I'm glad that we have this podcast right now that really taps those, concept or idea behind. Because this podcast is very accessible. Anyone can download it, follow us, and then once new episode releases, they can just simply listen to it in their cars, listen to it on their phones, wherever they are. Just download it to get a good grasp of how success should be and how you should treat people, how you position yourself as well in the world, not just in the marketplace, right? It's just like selling. There has to be positioning. So it's just typically the same concept and nature. It's just that it's a different avenue and perhaps pretty brand new for most people watching or hearing this episode or podcast right now. But I think Jackma is right. The moment you hit 40 to 50 years old, you gotta need to do all the things that you are good at, right? You don't need to jump into different places because it's gonna be too late. The rate of dying is too big, and that's a fact. I don't know what the hell's happening in the world right now, but the average dying rate could somehow go between 40 to 50. You die with high blood pressure, you get a heart stroke, or even a heat stroke. Those crazy things. You could literally be hit by cancer just like that, and you're left with nothing. So before you even get to the point, I think between 40 to 45 is a good place to focus in on and see where you're really good at and focus on it, right? So you can diverge all your attention on it, make profit out of it. It could be running your own business or a company perhaps, or maybe, upskilling your way into a different venture, right? And it should make sense because by the time that you hit 50 to 60, that is when you need to work on young people. And that is exactly what I love about this topic. Because young people can do better than you. Right? So you're going to need to put your investment in not just for yourself, but for the people that's working for you, younger than you. Right? And if you're somebody younger, then this episode is for you. Okay? And this is also the reason behind why I invited our guest for today. Because imagine, you will be blown by his story, how he started playing basketball, the background behind that we will be discussing on this show. And you will be hearing out the inspiration behind the business venture he went through at a very young age, owning CBC Enterprises CEBU. Right? Because if you come to think of it, he's already playing pro basketball. He's getting paid pretty well. He has become to stand out as a heartthrob in the basketball field for MPBL, gaining much attention. So perhaps in the future, he could not just be a basketball player, but he could somehow be an actor someday. That I don't know yet. We're gonna have to talk about him with that later on this show. So, guys, I want you to stay tuned. And just somehow a few seconds from now, let's go ahead and transition. We will introduce to you our guest on today's show. Let's try to find out some of the best practices he did along the way, helping young pro ballers, maybe giving tips and advices how to become really good at basketball and how to be able to have a stronger foundation with that milestone he accomplished for himself. And of course, most importantly, let's try and see what the business is all about, what the business venture he went through. I'm also pretty interested in knowing why at a very young age he decided to go about doing it. And I am so fucking stoked to hear that story from him. So, guys, let's go ahead and introduce our guest later on our show. But I mean, right now, let's try and hear some words from our sponsors. Peace, y'all.
As they say, food takes people to places. So during these crazy times, one can take his taste buds on a trip to Western Visayas by trying out one of its specialties. If you've ever been to Negros Occidental, you may have already tried its famous comfort food, Cansi. It's a dish made with slow-cooked beef shanks in deep sour broth soup. Bacolod City is particularly famous for Cansi. It's an iconic Ilonggo dish that is now available in Cebu. Good news for Cebuanos. You can now indulge with a bowl or two of Cansi in Cebu. Introducing Cole's Cansi. Located in the heart of Cebu. Open to serve you daily. To order, visit and message them on Facebook. Satisfy your craving and relieve that stress away. Cole's Cansi, an iconic Ilonggo dish that is now available in Cebu.
I'm always flexing.
Hey guys, let's dive right in. I know that you are excited. I am excited too. And just to give you a little backstory, let's kind of like go through, the things that he went through in life as a basketball player, the struggles he had starting up, and the things that he did which enabled him to achieve the success that he is achieving right now. And also, we will try and transition back as well as to how he ventured his way in, going into putting up his own business in the heart of Cebu. So this guest that we have on today's show is also pretty inspiring, guys. I mean, it started when he studied at PCGS in Cebu, started as a varsity player for a while, but yet since he came from a Chinese family, his parents somehow wasn't as supportive as previously, because they seriously really wanted him to focus on his academics, his studies, to be in general. So what happened is that he went through Tacloban City, studied for an international school there. But since basketball wasn't really a thing there in that school, he ventured his way in playing soccer instead. But after a year, moving there, he went back to Cebu, went through Cebu Chair School. Again, since it's still a Chinese school, but he was able to play as a varsity player there for about a year or two. And then, it came timely that he went to play on 3-on-3 in Manila Town Center. And that is where he was discovered by a University of San Carlos coach, Coach Roland Remedio, during that time. And while he was studying at Cherish, right, he was already practicing at USC without the consent of his father, who he knows the moment, his father knows that he's doing that, chances are he won't be given the go signal of going about doing it. But luckily for our guest today, by summer of that same year, he was able to convince his dad to go really play serious basketball for University of San Carlos. gladly had a scholarship there, and that literally tried, change the mindset, perhaps with the family members and his father. So after a year playing for USC NC summer training, he went through playing for Sisafi, a team of 14 that are graduating. So he was the only player left in the roster during that time. So it also came so timely. I guess it's a matter of luck and maybe hard work in combination. That after that there was a scheduled practice, a tryout for FEU, Far Eastern University. That same afternoon at San Carlos, Maine. So he tried. Took his chances in, and then first day of tryout, he was discovered by Coach Victor Pablo, former PBA player, former FAU Tamaraws player as well, and I believe one of the coaches of the team. So he took him in. So he went over, moved to Manila. Third year high school, residence there, and then he was, very fortunate enough that he was able to play for the UAAP juniors, and they were crowned as the champions, right? So pretty inspiring story. But after graduating high school, he was lined up straight to the collegiate league, and he was able to play along with Terrence Romeo of the San Miguel Beermen currently, and RR Garcia as well. He was able to play alongside him. And I also believe they are good friends with R.R. Pugoy of Talk and Text Katropa. I did try and reach out to him actually. Our guest today, and we're gonna talk into that later on today. So after that, he went through the entire thing in life, playing ball, having to go to school, and now perhaps one of the most precious crowns he has is him having a college degree in his name. And now he's ventured his way in, switching his mindset, and then decided to, venture his way in running a business. But after graduating, he was then picked up and, invited to play for the Cebu City Sharks for MPBL. And definitely he's now playing pro basketball. So yet another powerful inspiration, powerful story, to keep people motivated at these crazy times. A good role model for the young entrepreneurs and aspiring basketball players, in the country, perhaps in the world. Guys, I'd like you to meet our very special guest for today. We have Joel Christian Lee Yu of the Cebu City Sharks. Guys, let's give him a warm applause. Welcome to the show, man.
I'm okay.
Good. Guys, fellow Sibonganon in the house, guys. How's it going?
It's good. Hard due to this pandemic.
Great. Yeah, I heard you just went out for delivery just a few moments ago, right?
Yes, I delivered one high pressure washer for Carbon Police Station. Here
really now, huh? So police officers are ordering from you.
Yes, and they want me there to teach them and demo and some pictures.
Really now? So you did some demo with the police officers?
Yes.
That's crazy, man. Joel, I know it's been like short notice asking you out to be on the podcast today, right? And I really appreciate you for giving us the honor to speak with you today.
My pleasure.
Great. Joel, Christian, we just want to know, and for our listeners and viewers, actually, we wanted to know, growing up, did you already have the passion to play basketball?
Maybe yes, around 6 years old, but before that, I started really idolizing NBA player Allen Iverson. But AI. Yeah, but I started like grade 4 with competitive basketball.
Really? At grade 4, you were beginning to competitive basketball during those times?
Yes, playing for PCGS, Philippine Christian Gospel School at that time.
Ah, okay. And that was like, what year was that, if you remember?
Maybe 2007.
Really now. But guys, just so you know, Christian is just only 25. And this dude is actually playing pro basketball at that age and is also running his own business. How amazing could that be, right? So it's something that you can really, get some inspiration about. And one thing I commend about him actually is that even if he has accomplished so much, he really doesn't forget where his roots are. And that's something that, I think all of you can probably resonate in having. Chan, playing for, I know that you played for FEU, right?
Yes.
And then you played along, did you had a chance to play along with Terrence, Romeo before, and R. Garcia?
Yes, I played with them for 1 year during my rookie year. It was R. Garcia's last year.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. Did you win the championship during that stretch or top 4 maybe?
Final 4, but we started strong during first round. Like we had a 0-7 standing, so it's a sweep for first round.
Really?
Yes.
That must have been tough, man. Starting strong and ended up not winning it. But I mean, the fuck with that, man. How is it? What do you think would be, the most painful or perhaps heartbreaking experience you ever had trying to fulfill a dream, playing pro basketball?
For me, I didn't apply for PBA yet, but I can just give you the heartbreaking one. Like I was about to walk away from basketball.
Really?
In 2018 or 17, yeah. Like
which was like 3 years ago?
Yes, my goal was to finish my degree and to start work, but an opportunity knocked my door, and that's Cebu Sharks.
Nice. How did you come along with that? Did they offer you to play along, for Cebu?
Yes, it was like in their mid-season. Then their coach, assistant coach, Coach Jonas Quintanar, called me, and he told me that you come to practice so that our head coach can see you play. And it was like out of nowhere he called. So I said, okay, coach. Then tomorrow, because the practice was so far, it was like south of Manila, Muntinlupa.
Wow.
Then Mandaluyong.
Sorry, so you were living from Mandaluyong, and you're going to Muntinlupa just to be for practice.
Yeah, to attend practice so that they can see me play.
And then what happened after that?
Well, the story was, it was like 5 a.m. already. Then he taught me, the night before, he taught me what bus will I ride going there. Around 5 a.m., he keeps on calling me, hey, you wake up. Then you like wake up and go and ride a bus going here, because the practice was 9, but it's so far, and Manila's traffic is very heavy.
Exactly.
That's why then I went there. I practiced like once or twice. Then the third time I didn't show up. Then he called me, why? Then I said it's very far and I don't have money to
commute.
Pay my commute.
Exactly.
And I'm studying in FEU that time.
So I guess what you're trying to tell us is that you're playing basketball, but you're also you're still studying at the moment, right?
Yes, that was like my graduating year. That's why it's
damn. So that must have been pretty tough.
Yeah, very tough.
It should be. I mean, having to play and with your ass off in the line, having to graduate, and get a degree. That might have been so tough for you, right?
Very tough. That's why it was like I was confused at that time, but the opportunity was already there. Then I grabbed it.
That's a sad part about it. When you're young, chances are you'll be literally all over the place, right? You can't think straight. You're somehow divided by your priorities, somehow, and everyone will be undergoing that situation as fucked up as that could get, right? But if you mentioned about sharing us your heartbreaking experience, could that be one of it where you have to really you thought about stepping away, playing basketball, the one that you're so passionate about, right? Is that right?
Yes, it was like already 3 months I was not playing basketball already, but
wow.
Before that I was only playing like outside leagues in Manila,
Mhm.
in Marikina. They will recruit me for like an Panalay league.
Really now? man that's a great revelation. Thank you for sharing that, and not everybody would probably know this, and that's something that I really appreciate. So how was it studying and playing basketball, I mean literally at the same time? How did you go about making it fixed all together?
Well, it's very hard and tough and challenging as well. Well, during it was like my first year in college.
Mm.
Schedules in college are different from high school
Yeah.
schedules. Then from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. I need to attend class with no breaks and lunch break, because during like 5 a.m. in the morning we need to go work out or jog. Then I need to eat
Go to
my
school,
breakfast and shower so quick and go to school to catch up my 7:30 a.m. class. Then straight
Yeah.
to 4. Then 4. After 4, then I can eat my lunch for a bit. Then start training at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Wow, that's how rigid. That's how rigid your training was. I mean, that might have drained you mentally and physically. Do you have even breaks? Like Sundays, maybe?
Yeah, Sunday sometimes, but that was really the challenging part, because it was also my choice, because I chose the different course other than being like getting sports management, but I took business management. That's why it's really tough.
Man, if I were on your shoe, Chan, I probably wouldn't have made it. I couldn't sustain that life, man. And how many years did you sustain that? What, 4 years?
More than 4 years.
More than 4 fucking years, huh?
The hardest one was when I was graduate. It was my graduating year. Then I was playing already for Cebu Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Our practice there was 9 to 12. So in Mandaluyong, I need to wake up like 5 a.m.
5 in the morning.
Yeah, but around 7:30 or 8, I'm already in the practice gym. Then after training, I need to catch up my 1:30 p.m. class in FEU Moraita. So I need to travel from one end to end, from south to north.
Wow, and that's like you're doing that daily during your graduating year.
Daily.
What the fuck?
But I thank my coach and my manager for allowing me, if I have exams or defense, then they excuse me during practices.
Practice. Okay. At least you got something that you can, lean on. I mean, just imagine this, okay? With that, very challenging experience. Probably more than 4 years that you've been through that, and maybe the last year of your graduating year, going through that tough shit. It must have been a great achievement for you to finally graduate and have a degree. Not all basketball players have that. You know that, right?
Yes.
It should have been a very good accomplishment for you and your family, I suppose.
Yes, of course, because I made my parents proud.
Yeah. I suppose they were also proud of you playing basketball, man. But having a degree is a different story, right?
Yes, it was really my main goal to graduate college.
Good. Great, great.
Because having a degree can lead me to everywhere.
It can take you anywhere, like exactly what you're doing now, and we will talk about that later. I'm so excited to touch base on that actually. But Christian, what is somehow your biggest achievement so far in terms of playing basketball? I mean, awards and stuff, that you did probably, achieve championships that you won, Could you share?
For me, my number one greatest achievement is having a degree. Winning championship with FEU.
So you won a championship with FEU, okay?
Yeah.
And that should have been pretty, astounding to do. Not everybody could really, literally have those two achievements. Now, even myself, Chan, if you don't know, I am an undergraduate. I was a security guard, so I went through some painful shit growing up, man. So, but as I'm trying to put my foot on your shoe, with the experience and the challenges you had, I am blown by it. Imagine 4 years of literally sustaining that lifestyle, right? Studying and then, playing basketball, and now, transitioning over to running your own business. No, I know even if you have achieved so much at your very young age, you never forgot your roots, and you always acknowledged that you are from Sibonga. You have a blood dripping in your body from Sibonga. What literally made you love our hometown, Chan? What makes you keep going back?
First, maybe the environment, the people, the freshness of the air, the fresh seafoods.
Nice.
The people around there, because it's like a safe place for me. I can walk anywhere.
That's a challenge of being a celebrity, I guess, right?
And I really feel like at home there. That's why. Because every time when we're in Cebu, one thing, if we have a break, I always go to Sibonga.
Good.
To relax and unwind.
Yeah. There's people there are cool, man. I mean, I always, the place where you're hanging out is where I used to hang out, man. I think about half of my life I've been there. Seriously. And the people are the people that I know. And they are all crazy there. So I love those guys, really, literally. And Chan, I mean, at a very young age, let's maybe transition quite a bit. How and why did you enter entrepreneurship and, literally pulling the trigger into running your own business? What made you make that decision?
Maybe it's just due to this pandemic. That's why, because our salary was cut because like all companies in our economy was really affected.
Correct, yeah.
So that's why I was like doing nothing for like 3 or 4 months. Then after 3 to 4 months, I realized that maybe it's time for me, because it's like my line also, because I studied business management. So why not?
Okay. Makes sense.
So why not try this opportunity so that I can earn?
Exactly. And having to do nothing for 3 months could really kill your brain, man. Literally not doing anything for 3 months, and I think somehow you come to me like someone that would really love to get some action, right? Just imagine 4 years studying and playing basketball, and then suddenly for 3 months not doing anything, right? All right. So what about, let's maybe talk about CBC Enterprises Cebu for a second. What is your business about? Can you share that to our audience? To get to know more about your business side perspective.
Well, my business already started in Manila, It's like my partnership with my former teammate Carl Brian Cruz. That's why it's called CBC, former US and Blackwater player. I mean, current Blackwater player. So that's why he gave me this opportunity, and I just grabbed this. So I'm selling like our household essentials, like high pressure washer, disinfectant spray, like hand soap, car shampoos, vacuum.
Nice. So everything's all there. I mean,
yes.
Nice. So, what was it? So you're telling us that Carl introduced you the product, right? And he wanted to partner with you. Is that what you're saying? With a business?
Maybe he took me as a reseller for Cebu.
So you're a licensed distributor for
for
the product.
Right term.
Okay, perfect. Nice. Carl is pretty known as well in Cebu, man. I don't know if I'm pretty sure you saw what happened to the Australia game.
Yes, I was there. I was there live.
You were there? Good.
Yes.
Did you throw a punch or no?
No.
Okay, good. Stay as good as you are. Okay. Step away from the problem. I mean, kidding aside. So, what I've been following you around. Actually, just a few hours ago, I saw you. Close a deal with some police officers we have in Cebu, in Carbon. So you're telling us that you're doing demos and stuff like that. What is it hard to market your product? How are you going about, selling it? Because, at a very young age as you are, right? And you may not be so familiar with this because you've been playing basketball all your life, right? So how tough it is selling or, venturing into business?
Maybe it's not that tough, but for me, the tough part is me advertising the products, doing demos, because I don't have the confidence and I'm really shy, especially if a lot of people are watching do the demo. That's why I really hate that. That's why if you can see my advertisement videos, I'm like laughing there or smiling because I'm too shy to make it.
Really, no, huh? But you play tough, right? You play tough on the court, but you're somehow shy in that situation. You get to find your groove sometimes. I mean, you can't learn that overnight, actually. But at least you're trying. Not everybody at your age is actually doing business, Christian. You should realize that. Somehow, people at your age, you can see them roaming around and even going places, even during this quarantine. But going back to the quarantine situation in Cebu, Chan. So mainly, the transition you did. If you're getting it, the transition you did was mainly caused by the pandemic and really made you realize to venture into doing business. Is that right?
Yes, because at first I was like, I want to apply for a job, but I can't apply because my TOR is in Manila. It's with FEU.
So you were left hanging in the air because you got nothing. Your paperworks aren't in Cebu; they're in Manila.
Yes, and somehow I still have savings, so that's why I tried it.
All right, good. And then, would you probably say it's probably there could be an element of luck, maybe, that Carl reached out to you and made you a distributor for the product in Cebu?
Maybe yes, but for me, it's just like don't be scared to try, be confident, and
nice.
don't what do you call this? Don't be afraid to fail.
Correct.
And
you know what?
Accept challenges.
Exactly. And you know what, Chan? That's it. That is exactly the topic of this show today. Trying out at a very young age and never being afraid to fail. Because if you fail, at least you've learned something. If you win, it means you're winning, right? And that's one quote I got from Jack Ma. If you're familiar with him.
Yes.
He's also a Chinese who's been pretty big, in the business world. And I kind of like pick that topic up on today's show because it totally resonates to who you are as a basketball player and as a business entrepreneur, starting at a very young age. Because not everybody would even have the chance to actually do. So show us, Chen. I myself am very interested in your product. I've been, seriously following you around, checking out your demos and shit. And I really wanted to see firsthand, coming from your hand, what your product is all about, man. Come on, show it to us.
Oh, my product.
Nice. Fuck. So it's Kawasaki. It's really branded, huh?
Yes.
So it's called what was it called? Car wash pressure?
No, portable high pressure washer.
Nice. And that is mainly used for washing your cars, I suppose.
Washing your car, washing your house, like
yeah, I understand.
For your car, sofa.
Nice. Cool. And you are the sole distributor in Cebu alone, right?
Yes.
Right. And you have a business name called CBC Enterprises CEBU, right?
Yes.
So how can people order the product, Chan? Tell us.
They can PM me or call me or just follow and like the page. Then you can send a message there. Then I'm always active to entertain.
Guys, remember that. He is active to entertain. Are you entertaining dates?
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to make you feel comfortable. Just so everyone knows, I literally told Christian about having him on the show maybe 2 days ago, right? And he was kind of hesitant at first, but I really encouraged him to do so because the only thing I want him to be here is that apart from me supporting his business, is that I want people to understand, especially the young ones that are just really starting up from playing basketball and are starting up or maybe considering to run a business, that they have someone like Christian here that they can model and they can certainly do it. If he did it, why can't you motherfucker? Right? You know what I mean? You can do it even at the age 25. How I wish I was like him when I was younger. Apparently I'm not. So that's the problem. So if you're given that opportunity, a guy like him who made a degree, worked his ass off for 4 fucking years, playing pro basketball now, it's something that you can also achieve, right, Chen? Yeah. So guys, hook up, check out CBC Enterprises Cebu. You got to be checking out some of testimonials from people using the product. Chen, I'm aware that there are some PBA players are also promoting this, right? They're showing how the device works.
Yes.
Do you also ship outside Cebu? How does that go?
Of course.
You should ship mine, okay?
Yes, but the buyer shoulders the shipping fee.
Okay, no problem, man. We'll take that. All right. So, guys, just a recap. Check out Christian's Facebook page. That's CBC Enterprises Cebu. You'll be receiving a prompt. Christian will be active, as he said, but he's not entertaining dates. He's just accepting inquiries for the product, okay? I know you guys are probably watching this and you're trying to kill Christian, but no. It's all about business, guys. All about business. PM him, message him, and then, you can talk business afterwards. I can attest to the quality of the product. Number one, it is branded. The reliability of it is pretty solid. We're getting reviews from people using it, which is somehow you'd be your barometer to make a decision. Chen, can you please provide us some words of inspiration for maybe young players starting out and maybe looking to leave, a name for themselves playing basketball?
For me, never give up and just work hard every day. Then don't forget to pray and be confident.
Yeah, like what you're doing now.
And don't be afraid to fail.
Yes, exactly, Chen. Pretty well said. Pretty well said. Again, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. So, regardless of whatever opportunity would come in front of you, don't be afraid to take the leap of faith and do it. Because somehow you will never know the outcome until you make a decision. And I don't know, for this guy right here we have on our show, I think maybe the leap of faith he did is that maybe the realization about the pandemic, right? What happened to him during the pandemic and what made him decide to venture into business. Right, Chan?
Yes.
Awesome stuff, man. Any words for young entrepreneurs out there, bro, that you wanna, share? If they're thinking about doing a business, what can you tell them about?
First, if you have the money, don't forget to invest. And don't be afraid.
Exactly. Never be afraid.
Yes.
If the chance is there, pull it, right?
Yes. Accept challenges.
Correct. Very well said.
And do whatever you can to sell your product.
Yes, and exactly what you're doing also right now, right?
Yes,
you're stepping in front of the camera, right? Stepping in front of the camera and trying to, let people be aware of what you have, and it's something very massive, Chen. Again, Chen, appreciate you for stepping up your game, and putting yourself in the line in front of so many people, sharing what your business is all about, Chen. Let's maybe try and maybe wrap up the show in a little while, but I want to come back to you about our topic on today's podcast. We were talking about investing on young minds, young entrepreneurs. Do you agree that young entrepreneurs like yourself are the backbone of any economy, of any country? And do you also agree that it pays to invest on the young minds?
For me, yes, as most of our economic activities are powered by small and medium entrepreneurs that are owned by small and medium enterprises that are owned by entrepreneurs.
Nice.
Including young entrepreneurs and investing to new ideas and innovation will keep our country competitive in the face of global competition.
True, I agree. Not just maybe about the economy, maybe about even for our politics stabilization somehow could also lead to that. But man, Christian, thank you so much for being in the show. Thank you so much for being in the show.
Thank you also. It's my pleasure.
Yeah. Again, guys, let's support young entrepreneurs, guys. It's very rare nowadays to see someone as successful as this guy playing pro basketball for Cebu City Sharks and venturing into a business, right? There is no fucking way or excuse for us not to support this guy out. A guy like him at 25 years old could be anywhere, right? But this guy has a vision. And that vision is somehow that we need to appreciate, right? Let's support each other. Let's cut the shit of having some crab mentality as Filipinos, which usually happens, right, Chen? It is normally the case. Let's fucking ditch that off. Right, Chen?
Yes.
Exactly. Any final words that you want to throw for people? You want to greet someone or anyone?
There's no easy way to success. But if you believe in hard work and prayer, then everything will be successful. Don't forget to follow CBC Enterprises. Thank you.
Awesome stuff, guys. Again, guys, CBC Enterprises Cebu, we have our guest here, Joel Christian Liu. Christian, again, I appreciate you for being on board. It's maybe about time to prepare your stocks because I know that you're doing great. I believe just the past 2 days you were able to sell about 33 units. You mentioned, right? or could that be right? And you'll be having some upcoming stocks pretty soon.
Yes, maybe next week.
Cool. And you should get mine, okay? Don't forget about mine, motherfucker. I'll need that. Cool. Guys, I mean, once again, I know it's been quite long. I hope you had a fun time today at today's show. Christian, again, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Sibonga, represent. This one's for you. Sibonga, represent. All right, guys, I'm wrapping up the show. Again, this is Jamir Angelo. Nothing But Up, the podcast. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace, y'all.
I'm always flexing.
Thanks for tuning in. Download this episode and pass on the news. Hit like and subscribe. Watch out for our next episode coming out next.